Welcome back to Let's Make a Game. Today we're going to look at doing variable jump heights and attacks and different stuff. Let's see what happens. Let's first check what the previous state of the game was. And as always, we're making it in Game Maker and we're keeping it simple. So let's see. We have a character. The character can jump and we're using a controller. So you can jump and you can rotate. So you have a rotation. So while in the air with the left stick, you can control what's happening. And then you have horizontal, some basic horizontal collision, not the best, and a vertical collision. And then you can get stuck on a corner. That's really good too. We can fix those bugs later. It's always, and we can improve on the collision system at some point. But right now, this is good enough. Today, so we're gonna do, right now how it works is that when you're in ground, click, doesn't matter how long I press, you can just small tap or long tap, he always jumps the same height. And we wanna make it so that he would jump different heights depending on how long I press, kind of Mario style. So let's look at how to do that. So if you look at the code, we have this character folder. And you have movement, collision, get keyboard, get gamepad, and I actually added this init character. So the only thing I did was in Object Ninja, in the create, I moved all from here to an own file. So it has its own file. So today we're going to look at the jump. So in the jump right now, we're just checking if you're grounded. And if you are grounded, then add some kind of jump speed to the vertical speed because jumping is vertical. And today we want to make it so that you can press down and keep down the jump for just a bit and he'll jump a bit higher. So how are we going to do that? Well, we want to first off, let's think of what's happening. So you're pressing a button, depending on how long I press, the higher he will jump. So we will need a timer, or we need time. There's how long, so that means we need time. It's a clue. So let's look at how to create that timer. So the timer, one way of doing this, there's several ways. This is just one way of doing it again, is that we will make a timer right here. So we want to know when did he last touch the ground, and if what was the time. So last touched ground, right there. And then we will have, we need the time. When did this happen? So I happen to know, let's get timer. I don't always know it, but this time I do. But we can still look it up from, let's look it up from Game Maker. It's web page, so Google again, Game Maker. Get timer. So right here, not that, let's put underscore. There you go. So now we have the documentation open. So this returns the time since your game started. So that's kind of internally what is the time in the game. And this function returns the time that your game has been running on the chosen platform in microseconds. Micro being 1 million microseconds per second. So there's 1 million of units per second. That's quite a lot. Usually a lot of game engines just use 1,000. That's very, very accurate. But that's what they have. That's what we're going to run with. So now we know when he last touched the ground. Now we want to do something after some, like for a certain time. There's a small time window where you can do whatever you need to do. So let's go and we can like say last touch ground and we can see plus whatever time. So if let's say I happen to know that this should be quite good. So about a quarter of a second because 1 million, this is 1 second. So when we want a quarter of it, it's just 250,000. I hope I wrote 1 million, not 10 million. So, and as long as that is bigger, so than the current time. So the current time hasn't yet passed that time. We want to do something. Oh, we added some ugly characters there. So we want to do something. We want to check if we want to check if you press the button on the gamepad. So if the time is still not passed, then, and if you press the button, add some boost to the character. So we can just check the same thing if jump key pressed. So as long as it's pressed, we add to vertical speed again. We add the jump key pressed times, we can even take the jump speed. So now we keep adding this as long as the jump key is pressed. So, but now what will happen is, but we still want to, so what happens is we take the timer when he touched the ground. If a certain time hasn't yet passed and jump key is pressed, then keep adding this vertical speed the same here as here. And then but we don't want players to be able to kind of tap during this time. So we will also reset the timer to 0. If you're not pressing it, it should always go to 0. So last touched ground, I hope I'm spelling it correctly every time, we put the 0. So if you release the button and then press again and you're still within this time of 1/4 second, it won't apply it. So you have to press just once. And the same thing here, if this time has already passed, we can just set it to 0 if you want. It doesn't really matter because it's already passed. And now we have to also initialize it, because if you now run it, what will happen is we'll get an error. Because we're trying to set something that doesn't read in an if. We're not touching the ground when we start the game, and we're trying to read here, so it's not running this and setting the last touched ground. And here we're reading it already, but it's not even a number, so we need to set a number in there. And we'll do that in init character. Last touched ground, it will be 0, because the time starts at 0. The time will always be bigger than 0, so it will always work. And also, let's check. Yes, last time we had a discussion about this. So this this button, when you do game button check pressed, it's only when exact time when you press this button. If you want it to react on holding down, what you need to do is remove this pressed. So we want to otherwise what will happen, it will just run this code once. It won't keep running it. Now it will keep running it as long as I press this. I can show and demo the difference in what happens. So let's see what happens. So we're running the game. Now let's jump. Oh, let's see what happened. Jump key press not set before reading it. Did we name it here? Jump key pressed is set here. Jump key pressed, it's named correctly. There is probably a typo. Let's see what happens now. So now you jump. And if I press little, he's a bit lower. And if I press long, he jumps higher. But he's still jumping a bit high. So let's adjust the jump height. So let's go to where we're setting it, which is init character. And here jump speed is now 15. So let's make it 2 or something. And again, let's try it again. Oh, that's a bit little. Let's see. Let's try it just by having different values here. So now he jumps low, and then when I press, he's still jumping a bit high, but it's still a bit, it's a bit weak. Let's make this a bit more. 5? Maybe 5 would be good. Let's see now. Still it's a bit weak and it's a bit airy. Let's see. Are we applying it for how long? 250,000. That should be. We can also vary the length, but let's try like this. Jump speed times 5. This is all like fine tuning. I mean, let's lower it. So initial jump, so the small one is just 2, and then it will always anyway add this because it'll add 2 plus 5, so it'll be, it's more incremental. Not incremental, but growing. Okay, now it's a bit better. So when I click it short, it's a bit lower. So I can do a small jump. And then I can do a huge one. All right. I know this can be difficult to follow. We can still look at it and go through it. And we can also see what would have happened. Let's say here that we would have had pressed. Let's see what's the difference if I press pressed event. So now it's checking for pressed, not just checking it in general. So now what would happen, you see, he will always jump still the same height. No matter what I do, he's just jumping the same height. That's because this will only, when we do this, it'll keep saying, yes, you pressing the button for every frame. If you have the pressed, it will only do once and then stop. So it's just, for every press, it's just doing it one frame. If I do the check, it's doing it for every frame for as long as I pressed. So we're checking again, we're taking the time when, you touch the ground, and then we are adding on top of it a bit. This could be a delay time, so we can even call it here like var time to increase. It becomes very long variable names, but it's 250,000. And then we'll add that instead. Var being it's only gonna be temporary variable for the script. In this case, in the GML, it's what it means. And as long as this, the sum of this is bigger than what the current time is, so as long as it's still in the future, keep running this. But we instantly check if jump key is pressed. If it is, you can still apply this. But instantly, if you let go, so it's not pressed, it puts this timer or this value to 0, which means it will always be kind of in the past, or it will always reset it. So it will stop applying this. You don't have a, so if you're in the middle of, oh, I'm gonna jump long, and then you release, and then you press again, it won't apply it anymore. So you have to choose, like you have to choose, or like if I let go here and then reapply it like this, it shouldn't add the jump speed. But if I just keep pressing it for a long time, then he jumps high. Now, one cool actually feature I would like to have in the game is that we would have the ability to slow him down. So what that means is I would like that, you know, in the code we would have a thing where we could adjust what is time. So we can slow it down and then apply it everywhere we have time or movement. So that we would have, this is how Unity does. So you have, in Unity has something called delta time, time scale, time scale, and you can scale the time. So if you want everything to go at half speed, you can do it. And that way you can do really cool slow motion effects. So let's try to do that now. So if we go to setup, and then here we can just create a global again. So this one, we want this to be a global variable. So if I want to slow down speed, it's for everything. So we just can call it global time scale, just like in Unity. If you use that, and let's just make it 1 for now, so it's always 1. Now this will also affect the timer, because we want them to be pressing for longer, because everything just needs to slow down in the game. So if you want to jump a bit higher, you have to press a bit longer because time is slower. So we can't use the get timer. We want to have to create our own timing system. So here we will do a new thing. I think I did it in the get controls, but this will be a function that returns something. So when you call it, like the get timer does, it returns something. So you can have the equal sign here, and we will just call it get scale time. So now it's getting the scale time. You're not getting the time, and what that will be is return global dot time scale times get timer again. So now we're just returning global global. Come on, I can't spell today. What the? Come on, why am I blanking out? Return global. There we go. Sorry about that. Anyway, so we return the global time scale, and we take it during the current time, and then we can adjust how fast time moves forward with this. So now everywhere where we have a get timer, we would use this instead, and it then in the return returns blue. So time moves now forward in a slower pace. Actually, I wonder if it should not be times, because then we are moving time backwards also. It actually should be just moving forward more slowly. We can look at that in a moment. But we can also apply now here. So all these speeds, horizontal speed needs to slow down too. So we want the movement to be slower. We basically want everything in the game to move slower. So we need to figure out what are the things that we need to slow down. We need to slow down horizontal speed, vertical speed, and we need to also slow down the timer, and we need to slow down. Is there anything else we need to slow down? I'm trying to think. I don't think so. Actually, we can do it here, because here we always apply now the X and Y, and then we would reuse it for every character that we create, even the enemies. So here we can now do global time scale times global time scale. And we still have to actually fix that timer, because now it's not working right. But let's see first what this does. So now it's 1, everything should work normally. And then if we go to setup and we make it 0.5, so now everything should move at half speed. So now everything is moving at half speed. I can still jump as high, as you can see, but everything moves at half speed, so I have to press twice as long for it to get the same effect. And then if I press it very shortly, you can still, it's more easy to jump really low. So, for example, because we're gonna do aerial combat, we can make now time move slower while we're in the air. It's handy to have quite early on because we have to remember to apply it to everything, because otherwise, if you don't apply it, then it's gonna not slow down. So, sorry, I have to take some drink. There we go. So let's take a look again. All right, so actually, this is actually wrong right now. Where do we have it? Get time scale? It actually should, because if you change it live, it's not gonna work. It now only works if we have it from all the way, because when we move, the time will not move any faster or slower. So I think what we need is their own time variable. So in here in the setup, we should make time scale, and then we need a global time. Because now if we take the time and we just, let's say we take this time 0, and time will always be 0. We don't want that. Or, well, we actually want, then we stop time, but it should be stopped at that time, not return 0. Like, let's say, like, the thing I'm thinking about is that if time scale 0, like if time is, let's say, 100 seconds the game is running, and we change it in the middle of game to 0, this will return 0, whereas it should always return 100 then. So it actually should only, and how to do that would be to say, like, we would have a global and some kind of time, and then we would add on top of it the global time scale times, and now we need something called delta time, and that's how long it's been since this the frame has been rendered last. But will that work? Because something needs to actually add on top of it all the time. Let's see what actually what date time functions in GameMaker they had, because they had different date time objects. So current time. Oh, this is for get time delta time. So delta time is how time passing micros between one step and another. This code will set the speed of instance using delta time to correct for lag. Yep, that's usually what you do. So basically you can, with this, this is smart. Delta time is usually to correct for lag, so game doesn't speed up or speed down depending on your frame rate. Let's see. So actually the system object needs now an event. Oop, no, don't delete. Add event. We need a step event, and we need to add a control, and then we need a execute code. And then what we need to do is, instead of doing it this way, what we would do is global dot time is equals plus equals global time scale times delta time. Let's see if this works. So now we don't need this function anymore. As you can see, sometimes it did work because in an example, because then sorry, it did work in an example because we were setting the time scale at exactly when the game starts. But what we want to do is able to move it around during the game, and then that won't work. It actually will bug. So I'm hoping this will actually then work for even if we during the game want to change time. Sorry, coughing a lot today, a bit dry throat. Now we need to go change that jump. So instead of using this get timescale, we would do global.time, and then also here global.time, and in the movement script we would also do, oh yeah, this is just applies to the time scale, so we don't need it there. But what we do need is to set global.time to 0. Let's try it out now. It's complaining that in script jump at line 4 unknown function or script time. Let's look at what I added there. Oh, this is not a function. This is just a variable. Still one parenthesis too much. Let's see now. Still work. Is still moving at half the speed, and now in theory, at least according to me, in my world, he should also be able. We should be able to do that whenever we want. So, how should we try that out? Let's see, init character. So let's make it back to. So in the setup we have timescale. Let's just put timescale back to 1 at the beginning of the game. Let's try out that it works in regular speed. It's always good to test because we don't want to see that we don't have bugs that we don't understand why they're coming. So taking it step by step. Now next, what we're gonna do is let's just do something that we had here, an attack key, I think. So, well, actually, let's do it like this. I have an idea. So in jump, if grounded, then it does that, and then we put here. So if you're grounded, the global dot time scale is gonna be 1. Else, if you're not grounded, the global dot time scale will be 0.1. So you're now when we're in the air, the time should slow down, and when we hit the ground, it should speed up again. So we're slow, and then you speed up. So now every time I jump, the game slows down. And as you can see, my rotation doesn't. So we forgot to apply timescale to rotation. So here we should do dot times time global, because it's a global time scale, and see what happens. Yeah, so now the rotation also is slower. And sometimes it's actually really handy to be able to slow down time, because what you can do now is that we can put the game to run really slowly, and when it's running really slowly, we have a easier time to see how it works. Like for now, I can see, like, I can jump straight up and do left, right, and see, oh, okay, yeah, it looks okay when he's rotating or something. So it helps debug some bugs from out. The nice thing in Unity, for example, this is built into the engine. I don't think, we can actually look, would this have been built into the engine? Game Maker timescale. I don't see anything that would indicate that it does have it. No. So now we made a time scale. Of course, now the challenge is that always we create something that moves, we should remember that it should apply this. Or if you want someone to be kind of outside of time, you could make that one of the players can move outside, so his time scale is not the same as everybody else's. So he can move at normal speed, and everybody else is moving slowly. So we could make like this kind of not teleportation, but like they have in Quantum Break or something like that. You could create that kind of effects with this simply, but in 2D. Of course, it's more complex to do that, but right now we don't really want this to work this way because the game becomes very slow, and then we don't have to set this. This is just an extra. I like to sometimes add fun stuff because now kind of we have a nice way of slowing down time. So if you want to adjust time. Now, I think last time we finished multiplayer, so now we should actually we could work on attacks and different kind of attacks. So I don't right now have two controllers. We had here that if I remember correctly, in the init character, it was checking if it doesn't get it destroys the instance. Let's not do that for now because we don't have two gamepads. So if I run now, there should be two characters. So we have two characters, and as we see now, actually this is something we could fix. As you can see, I can run through the other character. Maybe that's something you want. Maybe not. We could fix that. We can make it so you can stand on top of each other if you want. Or we can have it like this so you can be like that. Let's maybe fix it. So let's go to collision. And right now we're putting this object grass block, and that's the only thing we're actually checking for collisions for. So to check for other stuff, there's several ways of doing it. And a simple way would be that we just say all. So in all the place meeting, we just write all instead of object. Place meeting all. Place meeting all. So now when we run it, let's see. So now when I run, okay, now I'm hitting him, and if I jump on top, it hits him. But now we created the circus because he's moving up, and then the other character is moving up too. So we should also fix that. Otherwise, what will happen? We'll just run into each other, and then it'll just start doing this. And how we can do that? Let's think. How could we do that? Let's fix that bug. One way would be to limit, like what, first off, let's see, what is doing that? And I'm quite sure it's this that's moving it outside of the ground. So let's just uncomment this. So we're in the collision script. Let's just remove the collision that moves you up in the ground. And let's hope we don't get stuck because of it. Now we have two characters and we both, okay, I'm getting stuck, but here. So now it's not doing the jumping when I'm landing on him, but I'm getting stuck otherwise. So let's put this back. So we need to somehow here say that there is a maximum of what it should move up. And we actually know what it should be because if we go back to physics, we're saying that the vertical speed can at maximum be 20. Otherwise, it shouldn't be adding any, at least gravity. It could be actually more than 20 because If we add jumping speed, that's more, but the gravity can't be more than 20. So downwards motion could be maybe if someone hit. That's of course possible. But for now, it's enough. But that's why we could put here like a max vertical velocity should be 20. I'm doing this way because now I don't have to use the value 20. I can reuse this. Well, we can actually call it speed because velocity we keep. It's not really velocity. Max vertical speed. So here we can say that only do this if the max for like now it can move more than the max velocity, so it can move it up to like 100 pixels if it needs to, but we can limit it to, let's just limit it to 20, so that if you're falling, you shouldn't be anyway that often. At least in this game right now, you can't fall faster than that. We might have to correct this, and this might create a bug later on, that if you have something where you can punch and then the character goes downwards into the ground and it's going faster than 20. But we should actually avoid that. We should try to make this the real max vertical speed so we never go over it. At least downwards. We could also make it in the jump 20 so that we check there too. But for now, so now to make that how I would do it, I'm trying to think. So we could do var. We need to somehow save how much we moved and then check it. So in the beginning, we can just make it 0 or something. And then as long as move y is smaller than 20, then do add on top of it. So move y. So as long as do this, then add minus, and then we apply it here. So y is minus plus equals, I guess, because this is minus, plus equals move y. Sometimes it's hard to keep track of all the minuses and pluses, so we're minusing it here. Of course, we could do it the other way around also. Yeah, because otherwise this wouldn't work. So we're adding at the top, and as long as it's smaller than 20, keep adding it, else, and then otherwise stop, and then just apply it to the y motion. So now it won't move up more than 20, at least by theory. Let's see what happens. Okay, so we keep jumping, so we're moving up too much. We're moving up too much. What if we add? No. That doesn't matter. So plus. Oh. Of course. Let's try it now. All right. Now when I go here, they're not jumping. And now I'm you get superpowers when you jump on top of it. Let's see that again. That was funny. I like that. More of that. Yeah. So we should actually, maybe if we do if move y is smaller than, what was it? It's only applied if it's smaller than, what was it, max speed. Just double checking it. Spelled it correctly so we don't have to look at that. And then let's see what happens now. Yeah, and now he stays there, so we're checking that it doesn't apply like a million on. So now they don't keep jumping on top of each other. So now you can stand on top of somebody and not, because it was creating a loop where they were moving up and down. So now it only allows for moves. Let's see what it's doing now. It's sometimes hard to explain why you're coding because you know, you have to think about what you're doing. So if move y is 0, oh sorry, not if, we're putting move y is 0 at the beginning, and then we are checking that if, actually this could be actually +1, we don't have to check 0, that's just checking where you are. So if you if -1 down, if it's meeting and it's still less than 20, then add 1, and then it keeps adding that one, and then we check also that it doesn't ever apply more than sorry, vertical speed, so it's never more than 20, and then otherwise, and then apply it if that's true. Let's see if I make it 1, does it also work still? Oh, there's a slight jump there. Now of course, because we don't have precise collisions when you're at the edge here, you're gonna hover. If you had precise collision, it would actually probably look a bit better. But our characters can't really walk up slopes yet. That's something we can add later on. But maybe not today. Maybe now move on to kind of, because we can now run up and then we can start punching him. And we should add health. Excuse me. All right, so anyway, let's see then. Movement, collision. So we're doing attacks. Did we have a handle animation? I think that's the only thing that really does this punch. We should at some point make an a state, so this wouldn't read actually the attack key pressed and stuff like that. It would just be states, and then when you press something, it changes the state of the state machine. So it's like jumping, attacking, horizontal, moving, running, something like that. But for now, this is okay. So we should add a actual attack script, but let's actually first go to the init character. The character doesn't have a health yet. I think health is a reserved word. Yeah, because it turns red, it means it's already used by something. So maybe we just call it HP instead, and let's make HP 3. So when you start off, you have a HP, and we can also add a max HP. So if you have some healing potions or something, maybe we capitalize it. Max HP and HP. And max HP is also, well, it should be the same as HP. So max HP, so if you have a healing potion, you can't heal more. So we can check that you can never heal more than a max HP. And then what we can do is somewhere here, we need to create a script that checks that. We need to make a script that we can call it check health, for lack of better. And then if health, HP, sorry, is smaller or equals to 0. Smaller than is good to do, because what if someone punches and does a 6,000 damage? If you just check for 0, then what happens is that he won't die. He'll become invincible. So smaller than, if HP is smaller than or equals to 0, then we can just destroy instance. Was it instance destroy? Let's destroy. There we go. So this just checks if character is alive. And then to apply it, we of course have to again go to Object Ninja, go to the step and open the execute code. So now we don't really need to do any of this. We can just check this at the top of everything, I think. That might be wrong, but if it's wrong, we will correct it later on when the bug appears. So let's try that. Let's see that it doesn't just do something weird like an error. Okay, everybody's still alive. And then what we can do is we could also make it last. It doesn't really matter. I think it might matter, but let's see. And then we should have a create script punch attack. Let's just call it that for now. Well, let's just call it attack for now. We can make more complicated different types of attacks later on. So in attack, we now need to make the attack script. So right now what's happening is that, yeah, okay, I can run around, I can jump, and I can attack. So I can press X to attack, but this doesn't really do anything. It just displays an animation, and not even a good animation. He looks like he's, I don't know what he's doing. But not at least damaging the other guy. So what we want to do is we want to, let's see, we want to check if that punch is hitting anything. So let's go to game maker, and one way of doing that is by collision. Collision checking. So we could do a line, point, circle, rectangle. Let's look at the circle. So you have a radius. Or then we can do a rectangle. Let's see what that does. So here you can define the area. So maybe we use the rectangle. Now what we need to do, so this one, what it does is it checks, so you give a left upper corner, which is this, and then you have a right X position and Y position for that, and then right bottom corner coordinate position, what it needs to collide with, and this time it just needs to collide with the characters or enemies or something like that. Precision, if you want to use the pixel perfect collision or not, which is, if you do, it's slower. And then do you want it to also include the object itself, or whether the calling is if relevant should be true or not. It's actually kind of bad to have, I don't like to have an argument that uses not. This is not a, it should actually be collide with me and then the other way around. I don't personally like when you use a not, because now when it's false, it's a double negative. And people know how hard double negatives are. So it's harder to read. So we can actually take this. And then let's go to the attack script. And now, so what does this do? It checks, so this would return the instance it collided with. And then if it's none, if it's not none, so if it is actually colliding, then with that instance do something. We can actually make this more like, all of this works the same. I'm just making it look like what we have used before, so it's, I don't know if it's cleaner, but at least it's different. But now we're just checking the 50, 50 and 200, 100. This is just related to the screen. We don't want that. And we also here want to do Object Ninja for now. We don't need false for precision, and true, yeah, we can ignore ourselves. We don't want to be punching ourselves. So not me should be true. So here, then here we could do say that the instance dot HP minus, 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 minus begin, just reduce 1. So we can just do 1 damage for every punch. That way we know that because the HP is 3, if you punch him, press attack 3 times, he should then go down. What did we use? So now attack tree is actually checking, so now it will run it 100 times. So here we want to do the released. So you have, if you didn't do that every time, but actually, how is the attack now? Let's see. Now the animation will look weird. Yeah, but we can fix that with a timer, of course. Yeah. So now when I release it, he's doing that, but he's only doing that now for 1 frame. Whereas we wanted to do it the reverse, so you have to actually let go. So we can actually use pressed. So pressed and released. Pressed is when just when you pressed, and released when just when you released. So it doesn't run this 100. Otherwise, it will run this attack also 100 times, and we don't want that. So, and then we need the coordinates. So we need to figure out what are the coordinates of the character. So, what we need to do is we need to know what is. So we take the x position, y. We can put here x plus y. So now it would just be a small, actually a 0 rectangle. We can put +1 and +1. Now it will be a 1 pixel sized rectangle straight where the pivot is of the character. But we don't want that. We want it to be where the fist is. So we can open here, we can look at the punch. Let's see, so you can do it in a better ways, of course, again, but this is one way. So it's about, the pivot is somewhere here in his face, it seems like. We actually could move it down a bit or somewhere here, but so anyway. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 down. So we go 5 down from here. That should be the upper right corner. We can start from here because he's not going to collide. So let's close this. Let's go back to the script. I think I counted to 5. So that was the Y. And Y is again to go down is plus 5. And then we can actually, then we have to look at how big is his fist. Punch. This is very precise. You could probably make this less precise, but what the heck. 4 is his height, and then from here, center 1. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 about. So we need to go, what was it, 4 and 8. So plus 8. And in height, it's plus 5, plus 4, plus 4, so plus 9. Let's see what this does. Did we actually add it to the step? No, we didn't. So we're not attacking right now. Let's just add it here somewhere. We could also actually do it after the movement has passed, so it always is the most latest position. Let's see what happens. Oh, he died already. We never checked that he actually needs to be punching. Oops! Minor detail. He needs to be punching. Alright. Punch, punch, punch. Where would we? Get gamepad, attack key pressed. So let's go here, say if attack key pressed, bada bing, bada boom. And then we actually can fix the animation. So if attack key pressed, and then we can set here Attack timer. What did we have it before? Well, it was as long as he pressed down, but let's make it so he punches. Well, let's try to use the same. Attack timer is global because we have to use our own now. Time plus 250,000 because it's in microseconds. And actually we have to make it so that it's only one set, and then if attack timer, sorry, let's do it the same way as the other one, so we use the same principle. As long as that is bigger than time, global time, the animation is, let's see if that works. See it give an error again. Blasted errors. Come on. Oh, there we go. Oh, okay. Yeah, we of course have to now have a attack timer. So we don't have that. So in init character, we can just add here that these are timers for various purposes. We can, of course, at some point make it a bit cleaner, but we forgot something. It's always good to forget something. It keeps you on your toes. So now if I press, it's showing the damage for a bit longer and it's keeping it there. So now, 2, 3. Yay, we have an attack. Whee! Very lame attack, but at least it's an attack. So, let's try it again just to make sure. Yeah, we're not really hitting him. It's a bit accurate. His punch is really short. You really have to be up right next to him to hit punch him. We can adjust that. That's not really good for like if all people are moving around. We want him to have a bit more range. But at least it's working. We know that this is something that works. Okay, so now what did we do? So we make a variable instance. I actually think you can just do this too. It's a bit cleaner. Then we check if there is an instance that is colliding with this rectangle, which we just manually check that it's his punch. But actually there is something wrong here. This actually, the X position here should flip between if he's looking left or right, because right now he's always punching right because plus is always plus. We need to fix that, so it's good that we're going through this. And then Object Ninja, we only checking Object Ninja. In future we can make it apply to every character, but we only have one right now. Not precise, and don't ignore myself. Then if the instance is nothing, that it didn't colliding instance, if it is something, so the reverse, not nothing, then with that instance, and it's called instance here, reduce the HP of that instance. Minus minus again is just a way of removing one integer or one value, like 1 from it. So it's the same thing as I would say instance.hp is equals instance.hp minus 1. These are both the same. But we don't really need this. I'm just showing. So minus minus. So yeah, we need to flip this. And actually, here it's setting something. So we can actually probably use the image scale. It's probably not the best way to do it. People won't know why it's image scale, but if I get times image scale, the X, people, I mean other coders or developers reading this code will be like, image scale, why is it called image scale? So now, let's see if it's still working the regular way. Yes. And then let's check if we have to move actually him in the room now, because we can't get on his right side. Let's just put him there. See if it actually works if you just put him against the ground. We've always had him floating up in the air. Yep. Seems to be working. So let's go on the other side and punch 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now attack actually works in some cases. Now the thing is also that we're not actually applying the rotation of that attack. So we would have to do that too. And that's where I'm thinking we should maybe not have used the rectangles to do the attack. Because we have actually a very complicated rotational system. So this would then have to be rotated, these rectangle positions, by how your character is rotated, and that's not too easy to do. So I wonder if actually a circle wouldn't be bad, because the circle is easier to position because we're not really a rectangle then in this attack. And then this can just move by where you're looking at. Another way would be to use a line. And this is what programming is. You make something and you're like, yay, it works, woohoo, we have an attack system, woohoo, we have something. And then you realize, oh yeah, we added this feature where you can rotate, and now it won't work anymore. And also we should make it so that you can't spam the you should only do it once per attack pressed. It actually is, but it should wait till the timer has the attack timer should also be wonder if you just say that and the attack timer should just be the same as the global time, because then what will happen, it will just apply it once. If you keep button smashing, it shouldn't help. You will have to actually wait. Oh, don't fall. Can you still button mash? Let's see. Seems you can. Oh yeah, because this is always, it should also check then here that and the same thing here, that it actually is in the past, I think. So now it's also, it won't reassign this until this has actually gone by. Bit of fast hacking together though. Let's see if it's not working. No, it's not working at all. Let's see what we did now. It's probably with the, where was the attack script with this? So, oh, not like that attack script, I mean where did we put it? Handle animation. This really shouldn't be in handle animation. We should actually move it to the attack script. And this description is really not what it's doing. I'm ending on character state. So attack, if attack pressed and, oh yeah, of course, attack timer needs to be, this is where it would be easier if we would make this actually apply here. So attack timer will be this time plus this, and as long as it's bigger than the global time, we'll add this, and here if attack time is smaller than global time, so the reverse. So now we don't have to have this 250,000 all over the place. Still working. No, but it doesn't work at all. That might be because of, actually, we also have to, now we can remove it also. Attack timer will never be equals global time now. Because we're adding in this here. So we actually should say, actually, we actually don't need this check here then anymore, I think, because we're actually only having attack pressed once and you have to wait. No, wait, it should be actually the same as this. So only when it starts. Oh my, let's try it again. Come on! No! No! Is the glider's still working? Attack pressed. Oh, because attack timer can't check. I wonder if we take this actually and go from here to here. Then we go here. And then we make it a temporary. Maybe this would be a way. Then here it would be just attacked. And then we have to go again to the init character and add a other stupid thing here. True. No, false. Just trying to read it through and see if this is, so as long as attack timer, and do that, and then an attack, and then we put here back to false, and then it was it what was called? No, it's not attack, it's attacked. I think in past tense. Let's double check. Init character attacked. See what it does. One, two, three. And let's try the button mash now. One, two, three. Oh, that wasn't really a button mash. I didn't really a button that just resets the level. It would be easier. Can do that. Seems to work. It's hard to say. Try it one more time. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Seems to somewhat work. At least it's not like you can still button mash, of course, but yeah, I think it works good enough now. And at some point we will refactor again. So we will go through. This at least looks a bit cleaner now that I moved it out here, but I don't know if this even should be here. It's not a bad place. I wish this GML had classes. You could make this so much neater, not having to have this init character full of all kinds of crap. But what can you do? So anyway, so remember, if you want to follow along and you want to download the code, I have everything in GitHub. It's under GitHub /game dev company. You can download all the source, and after the stream is done, I will post also everything I've done now there, so you can make your own version, do whatever you want. That's up to you. And then please also follow us on Twitter, so that every time our stream goes live, we'll post something. If you find something nice, we'll share all kinds of things, what's going on in the dev community. So, now we have this ninja character. So the next thing we could look at, so we have a basic attack, and someone dies, and you can actually also have two controllers. You can have local multiplayer. Now, so we still have the problem that when you rotate, because we have that rotating jump, this won't really work. And maybe I'll leave that till next time. That'll be something we'll tackle then. We now have a basic thing. Now what would be nice, like, we could actually have also at some point like a damage variable or something like that, but that might actually be a property of their weapon, if they can have a weapon. So the characters, we won't do that. Let's create some new character, because now we have two ninjas. And we could actually just draw another character. So now we have the ninja. And then we could have the other character being something else, maybe. Yeah. So, now we have characters with sprite ninja. So we can still base it off of it. So we can take, we can take the idle first and duplicate it. And then we can call it sprite. What should we do? Maybe pirate? I don't know, whatever. Ninja pirate. Yeah, idle. Edit sprite. Let's draw some pirates here. So we'll base it still in the same form. So we have the basic form, but we will change the colors. You can still have a red sash, I think, but let's look at some inspirations for a pirate. Let's go to, let's maybe have a pirate with a beard, so maybe like a black beard kind of pirate. Black beard, pirate, whatever. I'll just go to Google Images, and then I look at them all. So it seems to be red kind of vest, some kind of hat, beard, maybe a bandana, or black. But it's nice that it somehow was a bit different than the pirate. Blue, black pants, kind of dark pants, kind of this baggy pants, some kind of shoe, brown pants, shoe, red sash. Maybe this would be our inspiration. So let's give him like brown boots. This is the reason I like Game Maker, because now even if I'm a programmer, I can kind of do some kind of basic art. I don't have to wait for an artist to do it. I can just make it myself. And then, you know, the artist can come later on and make it look really awesome. It needs to have a bit of baggy pants, so let's just keep that. Oh, make it black. And then maybe we give it the really dark blue, some kind of pants. So he has a bit of difference. We actually could just do that. Like that. Now, he will still have dark hair because he will have a beard, but it will be a different shape. So let's see. Maybe we should give him some kind of vest, so we can start drawing some kind of white coming out here. don't know if the neck needs to be that thick for a pirate. He can have a thinner neck. He'll have a hat. He'll have more skin showing, so we can not make him invisible. Actually, that looks a bit like his beard now. And this could be a red bandana now, because that's what I saw in the inspiration. But I don't want it to be fully red. He's just gonna wear a bandana, and then he's gonna have a hat on top of that bandana. And it's just gonna show a bit here and there. And then we'll have a black kind of hat on top of it, like the triangle hat. Whoop, wrong color, sorry. Be more like a triangle hat versus the ninjas thing. No, that doesn't look at all like it. Let's glance at it again a bit. Did I still have it open? Okay, it's a bit like that. We don't really have side profile. That's what it looks like. Okay, so a bit up and then a circle. Okay, so we'll black again, and then let's make it go out. Place that, and then it can go a bit out, up here, and then down. And then maybe make this a bit sharper somehow. Probably the shading makes it look weird too. We can actually add some different colored reds into the bandana, so it doesn't look so flat. Alright, and then we'll have him have a beard. A nice beard. Oh, maybe a brown, but he should be a black beard, I think. It looks like crap. Anyway, maybe his jacket should be like a lighter blue also. So we can take that. Yeah, and that. Whoa, that's too light. We wanted a dark light, and then take a bit darker color and fill in these. Use the same shading we kind of had going there. No point in remaking those. Does that look it more in scale? Looks really terrible. But that doesn't matter. We are not here to make art too much. So now we have a different character. So now there's of course different ways we could change between him, but so now the pirate, we will have to create all of these too. So what we will do is we'll duplicate this, call it sprite pirate punch. Okay, and then duplicate one more, sprite pirate roll. Duplicate sprite pirate. Well, we don't need the limping. That was just funny. We actually can delete this because I don't know if we're gonna use that. Let's not have stuff we're not gonna use right now too much. Let's move this so we have them in the same order. It's easier to see. The punch was just one frame if I remember correct. Yeah. And let's try to do that again. Hi Philip, welcome to the stream. Just creating a pirate for a game, just for fun. So we have some, if you have any ideas of what we should make next, just throw me some ideas and we'll see what we can do. A nice thing, which I don't think you can do here, would be to be able to show a preview of the image. That's not what I want. It would be nice if I could see actually the the punch of the ninja, because then I could kind of adjust and make the same adjustments here. And that's why it's always good to sometimes create a new character, because you kind of have to go through this again, that, oh, what did we do? So I think he went kind of down and then he just put out his fist. So now the pirate, well, he can of course have a different kind of punch, but then we also have to edit the collision mask for him, which of course it doesn't matter, we can do that. So maybe he will go like, I wonder how he would punch. Would he punch like an uppercut? I don't know. Or should he do like a more of a old school boxing way? He would of course have a weapon, but we only have melee attacks right now, so. Well, let's see. Let's just make his hand go out for first. He doesn't really have, the ninja didn't have hands actually. Maybe we should make him have hands. Yeah, I think that looks better. Now we have to add it to the idol too. You can of course add more frames on this at some point. Yeah, he should have 2 hands. There we go. The ninja wears gloves because he doesn't want to leave fingerprints, but the pirate, he likes the bare knuckles. Bare knuckles, eh? So let's add here. He has a bit of a bang. Sleeve. He has the sleeve of a wizard. Oh. Should just look like that. It looks kind of funny. He's just like, oh. Maybe you should have his hand up. He's like, but that would be a very weird way of punching. But that like actually would look interesting. Sometimes you don't have to be realistic. You can just make something that looks kind of interesting. Let's see, going up. Let's see if this is what this looks like. Let's pick those blue colors here so we have something to work with. So he would have his, whoop. Yeah. Come on, come on. The colors. Difficult. So difficult. Now it's too uniform. Oh, he has a stub. Maybe he should have a wooden leg. What if he had a peg leg? I don't know. No, that's not a good form. Let's remove his previous hand because it's kind of distracting me from making the other hand. Can add some shading here. Still has a shadow. Then let's take that red and add the belt. He has a bit thicker sash. He's doing that. You just look like a thinner arm. Because he has really thin arm here too. So let's see, pick the skin color and then just add the fist at the end. So it's like a, what does it look like? I'm trying to see in the small preview. Maybe, well, no, he has a bare shoulder. You can add some shading there, but it shouldn't really look like that. I mean, we're not creating high quality art here. I mean, actually, I'm adding all these kind of details I have now add to the idol too. Yeah, that looks maybe a bit better. Show preview. Did it add those? Yeah, you just can't see him. So in the idol, let's also add some edit sprite. I added on his thing here. Some dots, so let's just add them there too. It's not exactly the same, but it's not that accurate. So now we have a, oh, didn't we save the punch? Did we make the punch in the wrong file? Where is it? No! Punch. Edit sprite. Oh, here it is. So we have a punch, he's doing a weird punch. Maybe we should also make him bend his knees a bit. He goes a bit down. Okay, enough fun. he goes one down and he's doing the punch. Then for running, let's see what he's doing for running. We have the roll, but that can be for later. So for running, how would a pirate run? He would actually limp. How many frames did we use on the ninja? So it's just 4. The pirate should do more like of a classical running animation. Let's see. Can he? Can we transform, rotate the selection? No. Please ask, can I stress view? It'd be easier if you didn't have to redraw it. Smooth edges, outline. Opacity, fade, blur, sharpen, outline. Well, nothing really that. Oh. I don't think we can take this somehow. We can just move things. And we want it kind of to rotate slightly. We don't want him to just do this like the ninja. The ninja does it because of he's a ninja. Well, it can move forward. And then this could move just backward. It doesn't look too bad. Maybe you don't have to rotate it too much. So we're working on the running. Then let's duplicate this. Remember, oh, keyboard. It's easiest. Keyboard shortcuts. So we had 4 frames for him. So maybe he goes. This goes down again and a bit forward, I guess. So you would have, and duplicate that, and then it would move back again. At the same time, his other leg would move up. It just look like that. And then it would move down, I guess. This would move back more. I guess. A bit hard. I think this won't look good. This is gonna be a mess. Mess of pixels. That's the name of the game, I guess. It actually looks kind of weird. In a good way, I mean. Yeah. Yeah, so if you want the source code, it's all in GitHub. I'm gonna commit it and push it there with a new release straight after the stream, and everything that we started with is already there. So I wonder even if he should have move his hands. He should just be like an old man. But we actually forgot to add his hands, but luckily they're just like 4 pixels in skin color, so it's not like too much work to add them. Because again, we don't want him to look. He needs to have his own character. The character has to have his own character. There we go. And yeah, the walk, we can improve on the walk. It's not really that important. What did we have? Oh, we had roll. So roll the ninja. Oh. Went into kind of a thing. I wonder if he did his roll totally differently. Like instead of making him go into a ball, he would just go into kind of an X position like this. So he's like doing air somersault. So he would go up. Then let's take the shoe color and his pants color. Let's work on those 2 first. So he would go, actually let's work on the hands first. So again, his hands will be about, his one hand will be here, the other one will be here or somewhere. And then let's take the colors. Yeah, like a cartwheel. Exactly, Raj. Something like that. So he's like in an X, like this. Oh, crap. He got really big shoulders now. Well, he should have a bit baggy thing anyway, but. And I think we had defined that the sash gets a bit thicker probably again, and then let's remove some of this. And then let's move this. Maybe he would flip his shoe now. So his one shoe would be let's make his bags baggy. There we go. Well, no. Had something there, but then more out here. So he has a crotch still. And then let's flip his shoe. So let's just do it manually. I mean, you can probably flip in this program somehow, but and then remove from here. There we go. Maybe his shoe should go. I don't know if I like the blue on top of the shoe. We just make his shoe extend. I don't know what that will look like. He's doing kind of an X. It might look better when it's actually. So now let's just to test how if this works. Let's just go, not make anything special. Let's just replace the name Ninja here with Pirate. There we go. There we go. There we go. Let's see what happened. So now everybody should be a pirate, I hope. It didn't really like me. Let me see, let's maybe also make it from here. Pirate idol. Why did it start lagging? I might actually have the pivot in wrong places now. Oh, it's because I don't have the controller connected. It's not really laggy. Yeah, now I have to redo the redo this. Okay, now he can run. I don't know. I'm not gonna do the. Yeah, I have to do the dinosaur too. Now we have pirates versus ninjas. I don't know. He actually, for some reason, he kind of reminds me of a Chinese guy. Like he has this, like the hat looks more like a Chinese kind of villager hat. So when he's in the air spinning, it just looks like a. Yeah. What does his punch look like? Yeah. Yeah, it's okay. So, again, now we could actually look at, so now we switch between the two characters. Maybe we should even have a default so we don't have to always, it actually probably already worked, we didn't have to switch this. Now let's look at, actually I've never done this before, like I would like this to be dynamic so that you could choose which sprite it is, but right now this is not a string, this is actually referring to sprite. So let's look in the documentation. Again, is there some dynamic sprite name or something, variable or something? I wonder if they had some problems with their forums earlier this week. Let's see if it's already up. Player up. I don't know, you but a balance string. It might be something like that. Get asset index. String global level. Yeah, I think this will work. Let's try it. That's the only way we will know. So now we can just make a simple version again, nothing very fancy. Let's look at init character. So here it's getting gamepad index. So we should have a we need a so it's like character idle, character punch, actually let's call it like this instead, idle sprite, running sprite, roll sprite, and punch sprite for now. We can, this maybe should be an array of some kind, but what the hell. Let's not get too complicated before we even have this working. So get asset, get index. Then we have here like, we can create a character type. Let's make him ninja. And then here we will get, it'll always be sprite underscore character. Oh, actually that should be, of course, a string now. Character. Actually, I haven't used this. Why am I suddenly using the other formatting? Let's try to keep it consistent. Only use underscores. So character type, and then plus whatever its name is. So this would be underscore idle. So now we can just copy paste all of this. There we go. Should throw rice when he's in there. Maybe we'll make a Chinese guy, and then we'll have a dinosaur. We'll have all kinds of characters you can play. If the game is really simple, it's not that much work to actually add all of these. So let's try roll, and let's try punch. I have no idea if this is gonna work. And that's the mystery, I think. So now in handle animation, instead of this, we have to actually have idle sprite should go where the idle is. The roll sprite should go where the roll is. The running sprite should go where the running is, and the punch sprite should go where the punch is. Let's see how many error messages we get. Oh, it works, woohoo! So now it's getting the ninja. So now maybe we can of course have where the player can select what he is. But for now I would like just the one to be a ninja, another one to be the pirate. Actually, it might be actually possible to just set variable here. So we can set variable of self. Variable should be, so in create, we'll create the, what was it called? The character type and ninja. Okay. So now character type is ninja. But that's not gonna be good. That's not what we want to do. What am I thinking? Who am I? Why am I here? Who are you guys and why are you watching this? Anyway, sorry. So, let's just randomly assign them. So we can say character type ninja. So if gamepad index is 1, so player 1, he will always be a ninja. And else, everybody else will be a pirate. So now we have a ninja and a pirate. It's always good to indent. It's just easier to read for most people, at least. There's some people I know who don't indent. They hate white space, and then they can read it really well. But oh, now everybody's a pirate. What did I do? If gamepad index is 1. Oh. Player 1 is 0. Its index is 0. So now we should have 1 pirate and 1 ninja. And the pirate can't really move right now because he's incapacitated. So ninja is more like cool and the pirate's more like clunky. We can also now flip this so that see that both work. Ninja, pirate. So now as long as we keep the naming consistent, we can just flip between these characters. We could even make so that they have we can even make so that they have we can even make so that they have like different, like the ninja could have like a super mode, and then the ninja looks like something else. Like one idea was that every character would have like kind of a alternate mode. So the ninja could turn into a dinosaur or something, and the pirate could turn into a tiger or something, and then you can switch between those. And all this is thanks that we have this code. It's the start of it, at least. And then in the future, we of course have to make this more beautiful. Dragon, yeah. The thing is, what's the difference between dragon and a dinosaur? That's going to be the hard part to kind of start defining. Maybe it needs to be a triceratops. That way, it's not like a T-Rex dinosaur. But yeah. Pirate, a parrot, yeah. A whale? Oh, yeah. Why not? Oh. He's doing jumping jacks. He really wants to get fit. More than me. I don't want to get fit at all. But yeah, now what did we do today? So we fixed a bit the collision. We create variable height jumping. So if I click it just slightly, he jumps very low. If I click longer, he jumps higher. We did some basic just so we can actually punch. We've created, we've actually tested now that you can play with many characters. I don't have my other controller here. I think it's at work. I can bring it next time and we can actually see the multiplayer working. But then what we do also have is several different characters. We animated a whole new character. And all of this done in 3 hours, so or something, 2.5 hours. So that's not bad. But yeah, I think I'm gonna stop for today. Next time we can fix the punch that, when you're punching in the air, it should punch in the direction you're looking, not always to the right and left. Like it's not really rotating this collider per where he's looking, and we can do that. Where is it in attack? We can, what else can we do? Maybe we could make so that every character has a throwable kind of a weapon, like the ninja could have a shuriken, the pirate maybe have something else, or maybe the pirate has a sword, so you know every character has some kind of uniqueness. We can actually maybe make the first level even next time. Like now we just have this floating island, which is kind of cool. Maybe everything should be a floating island, a bit like Super Smash Bros or something. But we can do that, and then soon we should actually improve even further on the collision. That right now you can't really go up slopes, so we could go up slopes because then we can have more advanced things happening. Yeah, so as always, soon I'll have this version in GitHub, so if anybody wants to download, it's in github.com/gamedevcompany/letsmakeagame, and under releases, if you click that, you'll find the whole source code, and you can just download what's the name of this episode, and you can just download the whole source code and make your own version, look at the code. If I went too fast or too slow, you can kind of catch up. And then follow us on Twitter. We try to update their cool stuff. We go to different events. We go and share about VR, what we're doing, whatever, all that kind of stuff. And also, if you want to look at this, like maybe you joined late on into the stream and you want to look at everything I've done, so everything is in YouTube. It's youtube.com/c/gamedevcompany. You can actually, if you're in Twitch, you can right now in the panels down in the stream or in our profile, you can actually find all the links to the YouTube, to the GitHub, to everything. So check them out. And please follow us on Twitch, and tell your friends to follow us, tell your mom to follow us, tell your enemies to follow us, your enemies of your enemies, and your enemies of your enemies, and your enemies, enemies. No, wait.